Good morning, my name is Umberto Mucci. Today is April 30th, the 52nd day of Italian lockdown. This is We the ItaliaNews, a daily video broadcasting regarding what's happening in Italy under the coronavirus crisis. Yesterday, for the first time ever from the beginning of this crisis, all the official statistical curves and numbers went in the right direction. Those concerning positive things increased, those concerning negative things decreased. In particularly, with a very high number of swabs carried out, yesterday 1 every 31 was positive on average in Italy. The weekly average in Calabria was 1 out of 199. In Basilicata, the weekly average was 1 out of 274. It is the third consecutive day with 0 new infections in Basilicata, and only 3 people in Basilicata have died in the last 14 days. The number of coronavirus deaths in Italy yesterday was 323. It's less than the day before and still significantly less than the average of the last month. The Sant'Anna High School of Robotics in Pisa in Tuscany is an Italian excellence recognized all over the world. Italian scientists have created robots that disinfect healthcare environments with the emission of ultraviolet light and in the future also with ozone, driven remotely. The mobile robot is the result of the reconversion of technologies developed in robotics. It is another demonstration of the Italian excellence in innovation and in resilience, our ability to invent new technologies and adapt existing ones to the new needs. Several governors of regions, all belonging to opposition parties compared to the national government, do not want to respect its decisions on phase 2. Yesterday, the governor of Calabria decided to authorize, starting today, the reopening of bars, restaurants, pastry shops, pizzerias, farmhouses with outdoor tables and also outdoor markets, 1 month ahead of the government's forecast valid for the whole country. The government threatens to intervene and appeal, while many Calabrian municipalities, in particular those of the political part of the national government and therefore opposed to that of the government of Calabria, promise to deny permission in their territories. Confusion reigns, and the impression is that the political struggle has replaced the advice of medical experts in this case, which is very dangerous, even though Calabria actually has much better numbers than the Italian average. Crime in Italy fell 66.6% in March compared to the same month last year, but domestic violence was only down 37.4%, and pharmacy robberies were only down 28.2%. The bad news is that loan sharking offenses rose 9.1%. People need money, and sometimes they ask for money to loan sharks. Despite everything, there is some small good news for Italian air transport. In the week between the 30th and the 20th of April, our country managed to fly more than its European partners. In Italy, the number of planned flights fell compared to the same week in 2019, but less than the others. The decrease, although 81.2%, was in fact lower than Germany with 93.7% and Spain with 95.1%. This is probably due to Alitalia, which has kept about 20 aircraft active to do in essence 2 things. Bring back home the fellow Italians who are stuck around the world. Over 70,000 have returned to Italy since the beginning of the crisis, and supply the country with goods. Now, this is one of the things I tell the Italian Americans, the friends I have, and they have to trust me because it's almost impossible to believe. But believe me, this is true. You should know that these days in Italy there is a lot of discussion about the term congiunti. What does it mean, and why are we all talking about congiunti? Because the decree on phase 2 says you can go out to see your congiunti. You understand that this is an important thing because nobody in Italy used the word congiunti, and there is no official definition. So the use in the decree has caused panic. Who will I be able to go and visit without being fined? Congiunti, what does it mean? Relatives, family members, friends with benefits, boyfriends or girlfriends, random partners, neighbors? Who decides? Obviously, it's Italy. So more have been added to the problem in an attempt to solve it. Every day, there are representatives of the government who give their version of who's congiunti, each one different from the other. One member of them yesterday even said that congiunti are those you love. And so for this guy, we need a self-certification where we'll write that we're allowed to be out of our home because we're going to visit someone who we love. Of course, nobody is understanding anything. Everyone will end up doing as he or she thinks fit. And the problem will be on the shoulder of the forces of law and order, who will have to check the legitimacy of living home, asking what relationship there is with the people we're visiting. Do you love him or her? How much? How long have you been loving him or her? Will it last? It seems a joke, I know, but it'll be the reality. Unfortunately, too many things will go like that in Italy, in the past and in the future, it seems. Since those who decide are not able to do so, they dump the responsibility on the citizens. In phase 2, this will happen for many things, and it will be very, very dangerous. It is madness to ask 60 million people to give up their rights and the needs based on their own ethical decision, and not because there is a clear law that tells us so. Let's really hope in the common sense of the Italians and in our patience. I have trust in Italy and in Italians. I'm sure that we will surprise us much more positively than we are negatively surprised by the incompetence of those who make our laws. Please stay healthy, stay safe, do not underestimate this virus. I'll see you tomorrow. Another month will start tomorrow for Italy on lockdown. Ciao from Rome.